For any filmmaker, taking on somebody else's much-loved creation is always difficult, and I don't know whether from the start you had a strong idea, well, this is going to be my film, so that's the way I'm going to go with this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean it in any other way than conviction of creativity, but, kind of I see it in a very clear way. I mean, I don't think people think of me for movies as a hired gun. You're going to get a very specific tonality. I mean, I for sure think of myself as an independent filmmaker. I know I don't make independent films, but the approach and I feel much more akin to Woody Allen and Spike Lee than someone making more broader movies. That kind of like, I see things this way.
I know this came to your attention when your daughter wanted to dress as Katara for Halloween, and you went back and you looked at the TV series. It ran 2005 to 2008, I think, 61 episodes. And I mean, what was it that grabbed you? Did you just think, well, here's something that obviously connects to a lot of people, and I like that fact that I can do something with it? I don't know if there was certain aspects to it that grabbed you.
Oh my! It was almost everything about it. I mean, the only thing that really didn't grab me was the very young tonality, but it's inherently it was for little kids. And I think what was really interesting about the show is that it seemed like it was a misplaced show on that network. It started to have a kind of a cult following on the internet, and again, they had older guys and everybody, people that don't watch that network were starting to get involved in it, and what they thought they were making wasn't what they got, and it just evolved into this kind of cooler Asian martial arts Shakespearean story that they were like, we used to kind of having Dora the Explorer on here, and so I came and I said, I think it doesn't 100% fit your network, but I think it will be a slam dunk, epic family movie.
I know the creators, Mike DiMartino and Brian, and I'm going to hopefully get this right, Konietzko?
Konietzko.
There you go. I know they were very happy when they learned that you were going to write and produce and direct and all that. But then, as always with hardcore fans, there was always going to be these questions about, well, that decision doesn't suit us and that does. And some of them were kind of, didn't like the fact that the lead was no longer an Asian little kid. So I don't know, in those moments, do you sort of, I don't know whether you just have to keep your blinkers on and go with what you believe in?
I mean, well, most of, as often with these type of things, it's often before the movie comes out, is all hype, they get all lathered up before they see it, and basically almost every issue disappeared the second it opened. Those issues just went and never were brought up again. Like even in interviews, like you're the first ones that asked me in like 400 interviews about it because it's an old thing that happened and hasn't happened since. It was interesting because it's ironic because it's the most culturally diverse movie I think I've ever seen, and when we've done all three, will be a landscape of nationalities that there isn't even a second place. This isn't it like, oh, one of the Jedis is black. It's like this is intended to be every nationality of every kind in the movie, and that's the point. I mean, it's just not going to stick, those kind of things. So I was frustrated because I thought it would be something they would be psyched about, the different nationalities that were represented in the movie. So it's good.
I know that after 11 days, it's made 100 million in the US, which is a great big chunk of change. and that notion that it is already successful, and then you've got 2 more planned. And yet there is, I've noticed now with a lot of your films, the critics go after you a little bit. They just say, no, we're not going to give this guy a shot here. But that's something that at this point is just sort of water off a duck's back, whether you still kind of register these things or...
It's an interesting thing. I think I'm a little bit like someone that has a baby. I forget the pain, and then I'm like, oh, let's have another baby. And then when I'm having the birth, I'm like, God, this hurts. It's a little bit like that every one of my movies that opens. I mean, I made my first movie at 21, just got savaged, and then 23, savage. Then Sixth Sense, not so much savage, but definitely not good reviews. And I was like, is this never going to end? And really, it's never going to end. I mean, I think only time's going to take care of this. I can't say it's water off my back, but it's something I'm accepting. And the really happy thing for me is that worldwide, that's not the case at all. It's the reverse. And even in America, like if I walk down the street, they think I've been nominated like 7 times. They think that. They think like The Village was, universally praised, and Unbreakable was universally praised, and I think that's good. The artistry wins the day over time, over many years. I'd rather have a strong shelf life.
And if you feel unwell, just rub $100 bills. That'll help. So. Rock and roll, son.
Thanks,
nice to talk to you.
Pleasure.
Any plans for your birthday? Are you going to